Hi everyone, Jeff Lee here from AbelCine, taking a look today at the brand new C100 Mark II. Now the Mark II, of course, is an update to the original C100. Still maintains the same shape and profile as the original camera, but what they've done is they've added a few new features, of which I quite like. Most importantly, at least to me, is this brand new 3.5-inch flip-out OLED panel. Now the panel, of course, gives me additional viewing angles, but also adds full menu controls. So I now have a joystick as well as a menu and cancel keys and a brand new assignable button as well. So I can now drive all of the menus directly from the back here. I still have obviously the joystick on the back or the side grip here, but it's nice to know that I have the option to control the camera from both sides. Especially nice if I take the side grip off, I still can control the camera directly from the side here. Another physical change I've added, of course, is a brand new 0.45-inch viewfinder. Now physically moves, has a much larger entrance pupil and a much bigger eye cup. Makes it much easier to use in outdoor viewing environments. Although I have to say this new OLED panel is also quite good outdoors as well. But again, nice to know I have the option and extra options never hurt anyone. They've also added a brand new microphone to the body itself. So if you're not using the built-in handle, or sorry, the included top handle, which has the stereo microphone and the XLR inputs, if you want to go a little bit lighter weight, you can at least record scratch or reference audio on the microphone that's built into the body itself. It is a mono mic, but again, it is nice to know that you have the option built into the body, especially for those who want to go a little bit slimmer. Now the original C100 had dual pixel autofocus as an option. The Mark II now includes that as a standard feature. So in addition to the dual pixel autofocus, which we've covered before, now also includes face detect if you're using the new Canon STM lenses. So a nice feature if you want that autofocus feature. Same performance, so it's really fast, really easy to use. You still have the option to hold or do an AF lock on the side here using one of the assignable buttons. So you can kind of lock focus and push the button to make sure the camera doesn't drift away from that if you're reframing the shot, for example. Using the same sensor as the original C100 or C300 and C500, they've updated to use the new Digic 4 processor, which means it's better high ISO performance as well as better or less aliasing issues as well, which is nice. Still uses dual SDHC or SDXC cards on the back here. Uses the AVC HD codec, but now they've also added a brand new MP4 mode. Now the MP4 mode is great because that actually lets me record up to 60p in 1080. So now I can record 1080p 60 if I need to, or it also now adds the option to do 60 frames in slow and fast mode. So now I can shoot 1080 60 frames for additional slow motion, which the original camera could not do, unfortunately. But in MP4 mode, that's now an option with the C100 Mark II. Now, having the dual codecs is actually kind of interesting because in the dual slot mode or double data recording, I'm actually able to record to both slots AVC HD or MP4, or quite interestingly, I can also record AVC HD to one card and MP4 proxy to a second card. So now I have a low bandwidth proxy on the second card, which is great for producers or a quick proxy or what have you. So we've taken a look at this before with the C300 or C500 with the optional WFT E6A Wi-Fi dongle, but now the C100 Mark II has built-in Wi-Fi, which means I get my browser remote, as they call it here, which means I can use any internet browser, anything with Wi-Fi. So I'm using my iPad here, obviously, but so it means I can get full exposure control as well as a live view image. Now, obviously, it's not real time, but it is enough that I can check for exposure and framing and also focus. I can actually initiate my auto focus, my DAF autofocus from here, which is kind of cool that I have that option. In addition to the browser remote feature there, Canon has also added a new FTP file transfer. So if you have it set up this way, you can transfer all the files on the SD card directly to your FTP server. One of the other things they've added in addition to the FTP transfer is the media playback. So if I put the camera into media or playback mode, I can now stream all the MP4 footage that's sitting on the SD cards to any device with Wi-Fi and a web browser. So if you've recorded AVC HD on one card, for example, and the MP4 proxies on the second card, you can now stream that to a producer's iPad on location, which I think is actually kind of a cool feature to be able to do that. You can't quite stream the AVC HD footage just yet, but again, the MP4 footage is there, and because you have that dual functionality of the dual record, it's nice to know that you have that option built in. Now the HDMI port has also been updated a little bit, where we now have the option to send a LUT out via the HDMI. So if you're shooting Canon log, but you want to send out to your client a LUT, you can do so. You can send out the Canon YDR or the 709 mode via the HDMI port, or perhaps you have a recorder attached to this and you want to record a ProRes copy with the LUT baked in, and internally you want to record with the log, the Canon log, which gives us that flexibility. I'm really excited about this camera. They've taken a formula that's worked, added a few new great features to it, and really not changed a heck of a lot, but what they have added to it is really quite welcome. So I'm really excited for this. I'm looking forward to shooting more with this. That's it for now. Tune in next time.